My way home, as usually I do, I turn on my radio on my car ride back to Potomac, and being the news junkie that I am, I'm going back and forth like a lot of people do. I was listening to CNN and, you know, NPR and Fox and MSNBC and all the other channels. And as usual, I heard the usual blather about Trump tweets and Dems versus ours. And then I listened to Rachel Maddow's show, and she was having another discourse on the Maria Butina and who she knew at the NRA and who they knew in the Kremlin, and some filthy rich Russian oligarch who apparently knows Putin, and that may prove that somehow Russia and Trump somehow conspired to steal the election from Hillary Clinton. Okay, fine. Legitimate story. I mean, people are very interested in all this stuff, but if your entire opening monologue, I thought, is about Russians possibly meddling in the affairs of the United States, meddling in the affairs of another country, wouldn't you think, I think to myself, maybe I'm crazy, but wouldn't you think that it might be salient on that same day as the United States is openly intervening in Venezuelans, I suppose, elections or policies? May not you want to at least mention it? Heck, if anything, I mean, you want a legitimate reason to go after Donald Trump and maybe question his policies? There it is. Wasn't it just handed to you on a silver platter? I was just thinking this. Maybe it's me. Joining me now is political strategist who's also on the board of Stanford University, also a lawyer, John Jordan, who's good enough to join us here. I don't know, John, maybe I'm a little too worked up about this, but it seems to me that we might have a clear case there of hypocrisy, or do we not?
Well, with regard to MSNBC and CNN, anything that interferes with the narrative of the Russians stole the election from the rightful queen, Hillary Clinton, anything that takes away from that is just illegitimate in the eyes of those networks. Now, you and I do disagree on whether or not the American recognition of Guaido constitutes interference. I don't think that it does. Mm-hmm. It does. It's not sending money to opposition groups. It's not troops. In fact, pretty much every other country in the American continent, or both American continents, do recognize Guaido and not Maduro, and that includes all of Latin America except for Bolivia and Cuba. Now, but you do raise a great question, and that is U.S. intervention abroad. In 2015, the Obama State Department gave $350,000 to a group in Israel, which ended up building voter databases and training activists, and actually openly campaigning to defeat Benjamin Netanyahu. That is blatant interference, but MSNBC will have none of that.
And then, by the way, Netanyahu returned the favor by, according to everything I've read, at least recently, he then backed Mitt Romney, and he did not back President Obama, kind of as a payback. And we've heard this week that something like this was going on with the Brits, and we know, in fact, that the French have interfered. And if you really want to go back and start talking about Americans and interfering, what we have done, what our beloved country has done in our name in other places like Colombia, like places in South America. My gosh, if you really want to, let's talk Turkey here for just a second. If we really want to talk about this, the first president out of Gorbachev that was put in Russia was literally put there with bragging rights by the United States. Was he not? Wasn't Boris Yeltsin, says the cover of Time magazine, put in place by the United States?
Oh, I don't think so. I mean, I don't agree with that at all. Boris Yeltsin, was a natural phenomenon after he stood atop the tank during those chaotic periods. Lots of countries do lots of things to interfere, and they call it statecraft, and the United States is no different. With regard to the 2012, Netanyahu did support Romney, and then Obama wanted to pay him back in 2015. This isn't unusual. The United States has done it. Everybody's done it to some degree.
But by the way, and I'm not being hypercritical of anybody doing this. What I'm saying is it's a basic understanding that foreign countries will do everything they can to win when it comes to the elections in other countries. And we've done it just like everybody else has done it. So the shock and awe that we're seeing is what I'm questioning. That's all. I mean, intellectual curiosity and honesty is what I'm asking for.
Well, I completely agree with that. The hypocrisy here of the American media is breathtaking. Yes, all countries do it, but they only want to focus on 2016 because their queen was deprived of her rightful throne, and they will not forgive and they will not forget it.
And you state that so well, because it's the second time you make the point. Oh my gosh. John Jordan, what a wonderful conversation. I'm glad we had a chance to spar on this. It's always a great opportunity when I get a chance to talk to you. Thanks, my friend.
Hey YouTube, thanks for checking out our channel. We hope you enjoyed the video. We have tons of content for you just like this. For more of RT America's one-of-a-kind news and analysis, be sure to subscribe and never stop questioning more.